Hi, welcome to another Comics to Movies live stream. And I've got Darren with me, and unfortunately, Shaun can't make it. So we've got lovely Darren to help with the co-hosting duties. How have you been, Darren?
I've been good.
Yep.
Just
And
recovering from running another Kickstarter.
oh, they do take it out of you, don't they?
They do.
But look, and by the way, congratulations a lot on your Kickstarter. I'm really glad to see it do really well, and let's just hope it builds up soon.
Yes.
I'll say hello. There's two comments already, so let's just say hello to both of them. Moira, hey, always good to see you.
Hi, Moira.
And Sazigal, always good to see you. It's always great to see everybody in the chat. And if you're in the chat, feel free to throw a hello. I will check the comments every once in a while. So as it comes through, we'll talk about it. Just in terms of what's happening with this stream here, we are going to take another small sabbatical. As soon as things do, I don't know if you know, but it's probably more a story for Shaun to tell rather than for me to tell. But at this point, what's going to happen is we will take a short sabbatical. Shaun needs to sort some stuff up, and that's fine. Once that's all done, hopefully we get him back happy, refreshed, and all good. There are some Facebook comments coming through now, so let's say hello. Hey, Chris. Hey, Tootsie Sly, and hey, Jackie. Oh, yes. Look. Yes, I'm sorry. I haven't shaved. You definitely caught me out on that one. I actually tried, and quick aside, because I haven't had a haircut in. That's why I wear a cap most of the time, because my hair is horrible. But as a quick aside, I tried cutting my hair myself for the first time today because it was really irritating my ears. I don't think I did that bad a job, so I'm not going to show you, but I was impressed. I was impressed with myself. Quick shower, scissors, cut. I think it came out really well. And nerds, as usual, thank you so much.
Hello.
Look, in terms of lockdown, look, I've been working from home since March last year, so it's much of a muchness for me. The shopping trips are getting a little bit more scary for me when I go out for runs to stock up. I do it about every 4 or 5 days. I have to say I'm eating a lot more chocolate. It's mainly because when you're at home, you tend to snack a lot more. Like in the office, I don't have a pile of snacks. I tend to just, when I used to work, I just worked. But at home, I've got the kitchen right. I work from my kitchen table, so my kitchen's right next to me. So I'm snacking like crazy. I'm not going to show you, but I pretty think I put on a couple of pounds easily. No, my hair's still pretty short, but look, I can't beat Mark's hair. Darren, I don't know if you've seen an older video, but Mark Abnett has the most glorious hair, and he actually did
Really?
a slow-mo of it. I'll try to bring that back up. I don't think I can find it. The other one, which I was going to say, is just a quick jump back to Jackie. Congrats! I saw you posted what Donnie Yen said about your artwork. Your work is looking fantastic, dude. Just keep at it. I was going to say something more in a message, but I thought since you're here, I can say it live. Your work is looking sensational. Darren, Jackie does photorealistic drawings, like with the sketching and stuff like that, and it looks really, really good. I'll bring up one more comment and then we'll dive a little bit more into it. But it hasn't been. I think if people went crazy the first time, there are still toilet rolls available. So I think people have stocked up. So I'm guessing it hasn't been that bad. Darren, what have you found in your toilet runs? Oh, that sounds really bad. Your toilet paper runs.
Well, first of all, I'm in Melbourne and we're not in lockdown anymore. So, but I still can't have people around to play poker with, so that sucks. But no, it's almost back to normal here in Melbourne. People are still wearing masks, and I think everyone's being extra careful now. But yeah, it was nice to be able to go outside the 5 kilometre zone for a bit.
Yeah. And just one last comment. Melbourne isn't, but Sydney is now locked down until the end of August. Um, as a betting man, I'm probably going to say end of September at the
Yeah.
earliest. If
Yeah,
we
you're
are
not coming out of
unlucky,
it very fast.
yeah. There's just been too many cases, and look, we've been through it once. It is what it is. But let's go into some happier news. So, I have launched a brand new Kickstarter today, Terralympus. We will talk about that down the track, and I'm really excited to show you. I have been showing the video every so often, so I'm actually really excited to show it again. But before we do that, there is wait, give me a sec, a movie we want to talk about, which is called The Tomorrow Wars, with our lovely Chris Pratt. Um, Darren, I know you've seen a little bit of this. What's your first impression of it? How have you found it? Just on first impressions.
Um, I only made it about halfway through. It's interesting. I like the premise, but I don't know. There's just something about it that's not really my cup of tea.
Look, I have to absolutely agree with you there. I did make it all the way through it. Um, the premise is interesting. You're pulling people to the future to fight a war that's happening. And they did something that's, I think, really interesting in terms of the time travel component. And again, this isn't spoiling the movie too much, but they kind of glossed over the whole thing in terms of the people who are going to the future, 30 years in the future, will have died within before they reach the future. And the people they're sending back are all under 30-year-olds, so that they can't cause any time paradoxes because these people were dead before 30 or they're born before that time. And I thought that was a really interesting concept. And they did nothing with it. It was like, oh gosh, that's fascinating. Because if you think about all the Terminator tropes and all that time travel, 12 Monkeys tropes and stuff like that, is the future. Um, and the best one I found was there was can't remember the name of it, and somebody in the chat will probably give it to me. There was a German Netflix series which just based its entire thing around time travel. Oh, I'll Google it because it's gonna bug me until I find the name of it. Netflix time
Yeah,
travel.
I think I
What was
remember
it?
hearing about that one.
Arc. It,
That's right.
it is absolutely fantastic because it has all the causality and effect where basically, without spoiling too much, in the dark you go into a cave. Thanks, nerds. Thanks, Hunter. You got look, the chat knows everything. I just to prove it, the chat knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a I'll use the Marvel terminology. There is a nexus event in the dark, and only at the nexus event can you adjust the future or the past. Everything is all linked up and all the rest of it, but only at nexus, that one particular event, can the future be rewritten or the past redone. Otherwise, things just happen as they happen. You know the whole 12 monkey theory. If time travel exists, you would already see your past self with you right now. So that's, that whole paradox that time travel can't exist because you haven't seen somebody from your past right now buying real estate. Because if it existed, they would be here. So it's the dark one I thought was absolutely fantastic. But in this one, when they mentioned a little bit of that time travel bit in Tomorrow Wars, I was so excited because I want to see what direction they would do with that whole paradox situation. And it was totally glossed over. It was just, you know what? We mentioned it. Let's move on with shooting some big aliens.
Yeah,
And I
we got
think that
stuff to shoot.
we got stuff to shoot, we got things to kill, and we got people to die. But I think that was the biggest waste because more than anything else, um, for example, Chris Pratt's character, he's an ex-soldier, one of the absolute best, who just happens to want his PhD and wants to get a lot of things just didn't gel well. It kept trying to cram it. The movie didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know whether it wanted to be that Terminator smart action movie, and it didn't know whether it wanted to be that monster hunting movie where a bit alienish, where there's an alien monster and you're trying to hunt it before it kills everybody. It chucked in a lot of family in there. It's like, I would have loved it if they cut one or two of those components out and just streamlined it a little bit more. Just on Moira's comment, I love Chris Pratt. So Chris Pratt's always a win for me. So as much as the movie has its logic holes and all the rest of it, it has Chris Pratt in it. And look, Jurassic World, Guardians of the Galaxy, you put Chris Pratt in it, I'll give it a go. So take that advice any way you will, Moria, because yeah, I'll watch it because of Chris Pratt. Like Tom Hiddleston, if he's in any movie, I'll give it a go as well. Beyond that, do you think you'll finish it, Darren? Do you think you'll go back and watch the rest?
Probably not. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea, I don't think.
Okay. After the stream, because it is still a relatively new movie, so I always make it a point with relatively new movies not to spoil the story. There is a point in the story. You know how they have a 7-day part where if they go to the future, they can only go for 7 days before they come back?
Vaguely remember it.
Yeah, it's one of those very, very convenient plot devices. Why 7 days? Because we told you. And it fits the plot. It could have been 14 days. It could have been no. It's 7. Why? It's 7. It just accept
take our word for it. Yeah.
Take it. You can only go for 7 days, and then you come back. But the movie actually switches between the two, where he goes to the future and he comes back, and there's a really jarring moment in terms of the plot between those two. And I think you haven't reached a moment where he jars back. But for me, it's like, I just wish they had streamlined it, become a lot sharper with the writing. And if that means editing and cutting a lot of stuff out, that's okay. But if you throw too many things into it, sometimes it doesn't quite work. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Tomorrow Wars?
Not for me.
Look, the other thing I did want to show, and I actually have permission to show this. As quite a lot of you people, some people do know, I do letter. Darren's a letterer as well. So I've been doing something called 30-second short videos because I discovered time-lapse videos, which again, if you YouTube that, it's a rabbit hole you may or may not want to go down. Because I'm watching time lapse of people doing drawings, coloring, like everything comic related, and for me, it's like really good to watch. So yeah, I kind of got into it as well. The only thing about time lapse I found when I was doing it is the render time is horrendous. To make the video a lot shorter, like for example, I'll show you the video I'm going to show. That was a 7-minute video. I got it down to 35 seconds. So basically, I think I sped it up about 8 times. The 30-second video took me about 15 minutes to render. So I don't know why, but it takes it to remove frames from a video seems to take a very long time. But but I'll show you a couple of tricks as well. And I was going to explain a couple of things because I love lettering. So Darren will probably look at this and pick up all the tricks already. He knows all this because I've actually asked Darren for some advice once in a while. But I'll roll the clip. Give me a sec. Where was it? Oh, wait. I didn't do it properly, so I'm going to do it again. Stop and share again. This is where was it? Okay, got it. So this is a project I'm working on. I have the creator's rights to the creator basically so I could share it. So it's 30 seconds, so enjoy.
Nice.
That's it. So the one thing I do want to actually show, and look, I'm not going to show it multiple times because I'm really excited to keep watching multiple times. But the one thing that people don't get about lettering is all the millions and millions of micro adjustments you make. Because what I do is when I put the balloon in, there is a button to center the text, so it can automatically do it. The problem is, depending on how the letters form, the eyes, and sometimes if you bold and you think, it never looks right when you center it. I don't know if you find that as well, Darren. It just doesn't look right, and you have to manually come in and go drag it a little bit left, right, to get it to look correct. So you can't trust the tech to get it correctly. So I don't know if you saw in the video, but everything kept just shifting left and right a little bit. That's just me slowly adjusting until I get it right. Do you find the same thing when you letter?
Particularly, like a lot of my balloons are maybe a bit more circular or ovoid than that, and when you've got a the toughest thing with lettering is when someone has a really long really long word in the middle of a sentence, and you have to try and, or at the end of a sentence, so it's the last character that you've got to stack, and there's just no going around it. So yeah, lettering's fun, but it's also a pain in the ass.
It's really good when you actually get that balloon really nice. And so when I got that one, if you notice what I did, and there was a easy there detective. I hated the word detective because the detective being a long word actually messed up the first paragraph. Yeah. So I was going, nah, that's being split out. And I split that one out straight away. And it's also a nice thing because then it could overlap the other balloon when he's yelling at the detective, yelling at the chief of police, why are you doing this? And then it could overlap a little bit. So it's like trying to calm him down. So you could have a little bit of tricks in there. But detective really annoyed me. When I saw that word, I was going, damn it.
Well, the other thing I noticed with that one was how little room that the artist really gave you to put that lettering. And that's the bane of my existence. And I've gone in and altered artwork to make more room for the lettering occasionally. I don't like doing it, but if I've got the approval of the editor or the creator to do it, and I'm like, this is the only way I can make it fit, then yeah, sometimes I will edit the actual artwork just so there's a little bit more room to put the text, because otherwise you're covering up the sort of stuff that you're meant to be looking at.
Oh, definitely. I tend to do it the other way if I can't fit everything in, especially for art projects which I don't own, like other people's projects. I'll tell them, I need to change your words. I think there was one case, someone put close to 300 words in a page, and they try to cram into one balloon, like 1/3 of a page. And I actually said to him, look, even if there was nothing, if that was just a blank, you gave me that as a, those fade to black panels where it's all black. I couldn't fit it. Yeah. Even if it was a blank panel, I couldn't fit it. Anyway, so the good news for today, and I'm really happy, and I hope you guys take a look, and I'm going to share the link really shortly, is Terralympus. And one of the things which I really liked about this is I actually have a definitive end involved. Give me a sec. But first, we'll watch the video. Some of you have already seen it, but it's only a minute, so just bear with me. We launched it just about 5 minutes before we started the stream. And look, thank you everybody so much. We're at 17. Thank you so much. Always really appreciate it. We'll play the quick video, and then I'll be really, really happy to tell the story. And I'll give you a little bit of clues and some tidbits because I'm really, really excited about this one. So if the sound doesn't work, Darren, or the chat, just yell at me. But I am pretty sure I got this one right.
Okay.
Earth is a distant memory, and humanity now lives aboard the space station Terralympus. I'm senior engineer, Mia. And this is my first time outside the station. Things have a way of going wrong. Our expedition craft has been boarded. I'm not a soldier. I just fix things. The intruders aren't afraid, but I'm shaking holding a blaster for the first time. The fate of Terralympus depends on what happens next.
Nice.
Okay. I'll just bring Moria's first question. So I've shared the link in the chat. So if anybody who's watching, who's interested in the project, please check it out. If you want to share the link around, it'll be really, really much appreciated. Who did the voiceover? It's actually somebody from Fiverr. So I've used it before. I think I've used it for Transhuman. If you actually, and again, if you'd like to listen carefully, I think she's Canadian because she has a little bit of the Canadian twang to her. Again, watch it again, listen carefully, and I think you pick it. I think you should be able to pick it. We'll do a quick refresh, and wow, thanks guys so much. We've just crossed the 500 mark, so that's 20 minutes. This is really, really exciting, so thank you so much.
Well, you're nearly at 10% now.
I know, it's really, really exciting. And look, and I'm always really grateful to be able to tell this story. Okay, so for people who are new to Terralympus, I'm going to run through a little bit of what happened Volume 1 and Volume 2 so that we can get up to speed really quickly. But one of the main things which I always do is, and I'm a really big thing of this, is every physical reward will contain the PDF for all past digital volumes. That's always very big for me. So that if you get the physical copy of 3 and you've never read anything before, you automatically get the PDFs, digital copies of all of those. The print copies of 1 and 2 are all available as add-ons as well. So if you come to the add-on page, just pick which ones you want, and they're all available. So that's the main thing. It's if you're new, you can jump in straight to 3, get the physical copy, and you get all the PDFs. Or you can always, if you want your collection to be complete, you could go back and get the rest. Whatever you decide to do, I really appreciate everybody's support for this already. So the cool thing about it is it's actually the third volume of the series. And I know a lot of people have actually asked, is there an ending in mind? Yes, there is. And I see the ending hitting up about volume 6 or 7. It's a definitive end. It will end. And a lot of the mystery and intrigue and some of the plot seeds will get, everything will get covered. I'm 50-50, and this is a discussion I'm having with Shaun about how many characters make it to the end, because not everybody will. I'm really sorry if you have a favorite, but some of them won't be making it through. So the plot centers around, especially in Volume 1, to the lady here at the left. Her name is Mia. And I always thought it was really fascinating that, and this is going back a little bit to that Tomorrow Wars thing, where everybody is a scientist / ex-soldier. Well, in this case, Mia's not a soldier. She doesn't know how to use a blaster. She fixes things. And so she's a little bit caught up in everything that's happened. And one of the things in Volume 1, and I really, how do I say this? Somebody made a comment in Volume 1 about there's an old plot device called Chekhov's gun. And Darren, I don't know if you're aware of, have you heard that mnemonic?
No, I don't think so.
It's a writing term where it comes along the lines of, why is that writer being so specific about one particular thing that has to pay off down the track? So in Volume 1, there was a mention, and even in Volume 2, about a particular system that works within the space station Terralympus. And that guy basically said, that's Chekhov's gun right there. There's something going to happen about that point. And I was like, oh gosh, damn it, because they actually picked it. So again, I'm not going to spoil what that point is, but if people who have supported or backed the book previously, if you want to go back in and read volume 1, and if you want to message either Comics2Movies or Terralympus or me directly about what you think Chekhov's gun is in volume 1, please feel free to. I'll tell you yay or nay. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. One particular reviewer actually just he picked it. He was going, yeah, that's that because of this. I was going, oh, damn it. But anyway, in volume 1, you see Mia, and basically what you find is Terralympus is working what they call a closed loop system. Basically, everything within that space station has to be self-sufficient, and it has to loop through. And a lot of the real-world technologies in Terralympus are actually technologies that exist in our real world. For example, artificial chlorophyll already is a tech that already exists. We haven't really used it much because we still have a lot of plants and trees, but it's a really good thing for space, not to do two things. Number one, to convert solar energy, and it's not the most efficient solar energy converter, but it's a very efficient oxygen generator. So it's one of those things that I love reading about stuff like that, and I try to incorporate as much as I can into it. The space station design and a lot of the spaceship designs are actually real-world NASA designs as well. And NASA allows you to, you can go to NASA and basically any of the pictures, photos NASA has, they share. And I love it. You can go to NASA, you can look at all the high-res photos, and it's free for download, free for use, which I think is really, really cool of them. Anyway, so you see here, Mia's the left, she's fighting a blonde, and we'll get to who the blonde is very, very soon. But Mia, in this instance, she discovers something not right. Because for closed loop systems to work really well, and if you follow much computing world, everything has to have what they call high availability redundancies, which means that if something breaks, you need to be able to switch on to a backup system straight away. There is something called warm backups, but what called high availability backups is both systems are running in parallel. And so she discovers something in terms of how all the systems are logging that isn't quite right. And she suspects something is wrong, but that's the big catalyst events. So when that happens, she gets hunted and she escapes on an expedition craft to investigate. So that covers more or less what happens in volume 1. Again, I've left out a lot of the really cool plot seeds, but then in volume 2, what happens with her is she discovers that there is a nearby satellite, which a lot of the data is being transmitted to this nearby satellite, which the expedition crew have been sent to investigate. Again, I'm not going to spoil what they find in this particular satellite, but what you do discover is, and this is the discovery in volume 3, that Terralympus isn't the only space station that's out there. In volume 2, actually, that's the big reveal. There's actually more than one. So when humanity left Earth, Terralympus wasn't the only one. And then what you find is, and so volume 3 is actually really exciting for me because you actually see the clash between this other space station and the expedition crew for the first time. So this is the main cover, which is somebody from the other space station, and you see Mia here as well. This is another cover by Sebastian Navas. I like the idea of what they call the dirty sci-fi. So I'm thinking sci-fi more like the Star Wars sci-fi, where things are a little cobbled together, it's just working and all the rest, as opposed to the Star Trek sci-fi, which is everything is super neat, super clean. So I do like, it's a dirty sci-fi. When you get in, there's a couple of pages you can see here, but the main thing that really comes here, which I do want to make sure everybody sees through, is that it's very clear. Mia's not a soldier. I've never used a blaster before. And it goes through a lot of that. And this is one of the images where she's being shown how to use a blaster for the first time. It gets explained what the combat suit is. And it's actually one of the first issue, which I'm really excited because I could finally have some really cool action sequences in it. And the first two were a lot of setup, but this is where a lot of it pays off. So that's why Volume 3 is actually one. So far, it is my favorite volume. You see,
With
yep,
all the guns and stuff, did
yep.
they use like 3D modeling to get the design of those right in perspective or stuff, or did the artist use that?
I've got asked the question. I don't think he used 3D modeling, but
Okay,
I think they look awesome.
they do.
And I think they look amazing. And you have a couple more pages. Mia at a console, outside the space station, and a nice panel of the captain of the expedition crew. The main thing, as I mentioned before, is I do want to stress, if you haven't seen 1 or 2 before, please, please, please don't stress, because guess what? You can catch up really, really quickly. It's all there to be for people to get caught, for you to catch up on. Okay, so as we go through, I'll make my way to the rewards. I'll just pop up more resting. There is a lot of exciting things to come, and the good thing about this is, and I'll put my storyteller cap on. um, I love this one because I have an ending. I know how it's going to end, and I know where to take it through to end it. It's really, really exciting for me, and it's just filling in the blanks as it gets to that end. And for me to reach to that end page, I think the payoff for me is fantastic. The only thing which I haven't quite figured out is, it sounds a bit sadistic, who dies. That's the main thing. I know each role each person does, and there is a comment which gets if from the other 2 volumes, which actually gets raised a lot, of what happened to Earth so that people left Earth. That also gets explained. It actually gets hinted at number 3 of what happens, but I think in 4 it gets fully explained, and then the ramifications of that will finish off the rest of the series. Again, I'm really hoping to finish this in about 6 or 7 volumes, 8 at a stretch, in case there's something really exciting I want to put in. But I'm hoping around the 6-7 volume I can actually wrap this whole story up, and I'm really excited because I was thinking, man, it's the ending will hopefully blow some of your minds, because it's not traditional of how it's going to end. Okay, so some of the rewards, and I always do this. There is the PDF reward, but one thing I always do with the PDF rewards is I always throw in a lot more. And most people who've backed PDF rewards from any of the campaigns from either Shaun or my campaigns before, I would guarantee you get a minimum of at least 300 pages to read, at least. Not just from the book, but from other creators who have generously provided their books as well to be part of the PDF pack. So at a minimum, absolute minimum, 200 pages. I think in one campaign, we actually gave away close to 500 something pages. Darren, I know you do the same thing. How many PDFs have you given away as part of your campaigns?
More than a few. Yeah, it's a couple of yours too.
Yeah, and I love it. It's really good for people to keep reading and get excited about it. So if you want volume 3, you will get a lot more. And I'll run through a couple that you will get straight off, and I throw a lot more in always. That's the PDF copy of 1, 2, and 3, and more. So you get all the Terralympuses, and of course any additional PDF that's currently as part of the campaign, and any additional ones that we add as part of stretch goals. And we always add a lot more, so you guys don't have to worry. There's the print copy of volume 3, which is just the physical print copy. For people who have backed before, people who haven't backed before, I am a paper snob. I'm sorry. I just am. It's 250 GSM cardstock cover, and internal is 150 GSM glossy. Normal copy paper is 80 GSM. So the paper that's inside one of these interior pages is double the thickness of a normal page. It doesn't rip easy. It's a much stronger paper, and it keeps a lot better. And because I'm a bit of a paper stuffer, everything has a spine because it does last longer that way. And it look, for people who have received some of my rewards before, I make it a real good point that the graphic novel itself is printed to a pretty high quality paper and paper stock. Okay, we have the next one up. You get a nice little limited edition A5 print. This one is of, and I won't give a name because I do want you to read it and find out who she is, but she's not a really nice person, and you'll find out a little bit more about her, but she's a little bit crazy. And I will pop up Mora's comment. Thank you so much. Yeah, look, I do want stuff to last, and I do want when you do receive it to last. Again, that's why I will always go for the higher paper stock, always. We have the variant cover by Sebastian. I actually really like this one because of all the details and things he puts in. So I love this one. And I always do this. If you can't decide between the normal cover, the variant, just get both. Help me out a little bit. Get both. Make me a happy camper. You always get both, and that's really cool. The other thing would be and this is the first time I've actually done this. The sketch rewards is by an artist called Matthias. And so what he's done is, these are A5 in size. But what he's done is, this yellow is watercolored remark. So what he's done is he's done the sketch, which I hope you guys think it looks really cool. I love it. But the other thing is he's remarked their lips a little bit of a light red. It's, again, if you visit the page, you'll be able to see it a lot clearer, as well as he's watercolored their hair. So unfortunately, when you scan it, you do lose a little bit of that detail. But if you do back it, I promise you, when you see the watercolor sketch, it looks absolutely amazing. Like I said, it's nice if you want to frame it or do whatever you like with it. That's your judgment call. I'll ask Darren, do you know who this guy is? If you don't, it's okay.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to embarrass him a little bit. He's a Brisbane guy. He did a comic called, I'm going to get the name wrong, Armored Super Cats, if I remember right.
Okay.
He's a really good Australian creator as well. And with his permission, he said, yeah, I could use it. And you get drawn in. The cool thing about the drawn in one is you will be bigger than this. This was just a quick example. But you do get drawn in, and you will be easily recognized. If it helps, Terralympus Volume 1 and 2 are already in more than 200 libraries, public libraries in Australia and New Zealand. So guess what? If you do get it, I promise you, you will be read. You will be seen. So, yeah, it's absolutely one of my favorite rewards. The other thing about the rewards, they stack. So, for example, the drawn-in tier will include everything from before. So you'll get both covers, you'll get the A5 print, you get original sketch, you get everything. So it does stack backwards. So that's how we make it easy for you. So if you pick a reward that's there, it will stack all the way back through. Now, the artist Von Randall has done two really, and we'll see the detail will come down, two really detailed A4 sketches. The first one is of, this is actually Mia's commanding officer, Stefan. And I haven't actually shown a bike on Terralympus, but he decided to put a bike in, and I think it looks amazing. So these are the really, really detailed sketches as well. If anybody's interested in picking these up, these are penciled, one of a kind. So if you get it, it's yours. Nobody else will have it. And it was actually part of one of the initial character designs as well. So it's, I hate to let it go, but I think it's a great reward for the campaign.
Yeah, they look really nice.
Yeah. The other one is if anybody actually wants a private commission done, and Raz is one of the artists who actually will be contributing a little bit to the book as well. we've got a couple of private commission slots, and I'll show you a bit more of his work going down. But you can kind of see this is the caliber of his work. So, and I'm always going to caveat this with private commissions. There are things the artist will not draw, and if you have to ask what the artist will not draw, he probably won't draw that. If you have to ask, um, yeah. So I won't tell you what he won't draw, because if you have to ask me, you kind of know he's not going to do that. But the stuff that he does do is absolutely amazing. And I put this one in one of his space drawings through, and we've got about 7 slots to choose from. So I really hope somebody just pick me up on this one, because you could ask for almost anything. Like, for example, if you want your own portrait done hanging out with one of the characters in Terralympus, feel free to. And because it's a private commission, you've got 1 or 2 options. Usually I can say is, look, if you make a private commission, the artwork is yours. If you give me reprint rights, I will put that in the book if you let me. But if you say to me, hey, look, I want it just for myself, I'll go, that's all yours. You do whatever you like with it. No harm, no foul. That'll be your call. But if you, for example, if a private commission where you get drawn in and you want it, to be included in the book, I'm more than happy to give a page where I can slot it in. Absolutely more than happy to. What do you think of this one, Darren? This is one of his inks.
Which one?
The girl in the astronaut.
Oh, okay. Do you have a larger piece or?
Oh, yes. Not in this campaign, but
Okay.
it's hard to see, but the detail is really, really nice. The one thing I love to do is, because I letter, a lot of the key points I always put as part of the letter points. I haven't read the first 2 yet. Oh no, what do I do? Nah, don't worry. You can always get it. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, so I absolutely love it. Let me just go. Darren. Hey, Darren. Glad to see you. I'm sorry Shaun couldn't be with us today. He's here in spirit. Just letting you know as well, we are going to take a short sabbatical from the show a little bit until Shaun gets better. But once he's back, we're going to go full steam ahead when the time comes. Okay, so now you can actually see a lot more detail. So these are the covers for 1 and 2, and you can see the first one is mainly aboard the station. Number 2 is her exploring that satellite. This is a Malaysian artist, and I really love his work. He does a lot of those. He draws a lot of celebrities. So if you ever look him up, Wallace Chong, he does a lot of celebrities. But I get him once in a while to do this for me. So I love this piece. Mainly for the face. He does the faces really, really nicely. As per usual, I do describe the card stock, and that's like I mentioned, I don't compromise on that. And yeah, I love all the covers, and the interior is really nice as well. So one thing I don't do is, and I think is really wrong to always do this, I don't bait and switch covers, which means the artist who does the covers is the artist who does the interiors, except for variant covers, of course. But beyond variant covers, the main cover is always done by the same artist. I think that's always fair. With the PDFs, look what you get. You get Killaroo as well. Yay!
Yeah, I might have to swap in the color version. That's the black and white. I'll upgrade that to the color version for you.
Oh, look, thank you so much. I'm sure the backers will really love that. So in the first batch of the More, we kept it all Australian. The next batch, and I promise all of you, there is going to be another batch of PDFs going to be released. It will be all international. So the first batch will be Wordsmith, which is something I did. Darren's Killaroo, thank you very much, which is going to now be upgraded to color. Most Wanted, and Bradley Aiden's Super Ready Battle Armor. So we're keeping with an all-Australian theme to start off with the first batch of the More, if you will. There will be another batch of the More, which will, I'm hoping to release the second batch of the More when we get funded. It's not going to be a stretch goal. It'll just be, as soon as we're funded, here's the next batch. And Oh, he might be watching, Darren, if he's watching the show, Okay, so we come down to the physical copies. Again, there's the two covers. One thing that's nice is we've got, and I like doing this as well, and I've started to do this, is I started to give out little cards, because at the back of the cards, what I do is I always include basically the Facebook page, the Twitter handle, and if they or the website page if available. So I find it a really cool way to get an artist to do some really cool artwork and put all the details behind it. So for people who have got previous campaigns, I love giving these cards out. I usually end up giving I think with Wordsmith, I think there were 2 cards. And what we're trying to do is, as things progress, I will provide more and more cards coming through, or more prints. Usually by the end of it, because you guys are so supportive, it's usually quite a bit. And I'm going to pop this one. Hey, Mandy. No spoilers, please. Don't.
No.
If you put spoilers in the comments, Mandy, I'll boot you. So no spoilers. I so want to watch it. It actually it looks so much better than the first Suicide Squad, and I'm a big fan of James Gunn. So, Darren, you looking forward to the next Suicide Squad as well?
Definitely looking forward to that one.
And I think there is a reference to the source material. Again, I can only base it off the trailers, but there is a slight reference to the source material as well.
So the fact that they used the logo from the comics kind of tells you that bullet hole ridden logo.
And Starro, the first time JLA, the Justice League got together. I really hope he gives that reference back to it, and I think that he will. That's the card, and it's done by. I have the artwork for that. If as the campaign goes through, if someone is really interested in the original art for most pieces, again, just drop me a message or drop Shaun a message, and we'll see what we can do. This is a much closer shot of the A5 print by Alan Sands. If you zoom in on the face a bit, she does have that little bit of the crazy eyes thing. So when you do see the campaign and you do zoom in a bit, yeah, there is the crazy eyes. I'll zoom in just to show you a bit of the crazy eyes.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah.
The colors are fantastic.
Oh, I think they're awesome. And this is something that's always I draw, and nowhere as good as Darren, and nowhere as good as Jackie. I've been to a lot of live drawing classes as well. Foreshortening is hard. I always mess it up, and in this case, I love it. It's done perfectly. Like, you don't see it as though the arms are out of proportion or head's too small, head's too big. It's really easy to screw up a perspective drawing. What's your take when you draw perspective?
Yeah, I tend to avoid it for that reason, because it's if you get it wrong, it's very, very obvious. But this looks really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if it's right, people just we move on.
Yeah, you won't notice it.
But if it's wrong, it's like, oh, you screwed it up. It's like those and this is why Spider-Man artists, and I always use this because whenever they always say, can you just imagine the writer's script? Page 2 and 3, double page spread, Spidey goes across New York landscape. And I guarantee you, every artist will go, because to draw that one double page spread with all the buildings in the background in perspective at the right angles and all that, it's going to be that 2-page spread. It's going to take that artist a good 4 or 5 days to draw, and he's probably going. And guess what? The writer probably has 1 paragraph of description to describe the entire 2 pages. That's it. He's got 1 paragraph. Oh, make sure the Empire State Building is at this angle. That's probably the only description he puts in there. Okay, let's keep scrolling. And this is what I meant. This is the A5 sketches, and like I said, these are all watercolor remarks. So just as a heads up as well, especially with original art, especially with stuff like this, it's not going to be perfect. And I just want to make sure that there is a really nice thing about imperfection, and I'll explain what that one is. You see this dot there? That means when he was painting it, a dot splashed out from his paintbrush. That's what that means. That there is splashes through, but it makes it real. And you can see in this case, he remarked the lips a bit. And I have to say, this one's one of my absolute favorite for one he did. And I really hate to see some of these go, but man, I think he did a really good job, especially with the blacks and the grays and the remark. And even with her hair here, you'll see different colors. And this is all watercolored down. Thank you, Darren. I really, really appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, watching me ramble about my project, and really, really appreciate everybody's support. You guys have seen this. This is a much closer shot. So Darren, this is what you wanted to see, the zoom in. What do you think?
Pretty nice, but the bike one's even nicer, the one underneath.
Let's go. There you go. So it
Nice
is
detail in
really,
there.
really detailed. So again, stuff I hate to go because I only got one copy of it and it's sitting that away. But yeah, it's one of those things. But I really hope it goes. Somebody finds a really good home for it. And these are the sample A4 commissions by Raz. You can see the penguin here. It's really, really detailed, and you can see the space one, which is fully inked through. So again, like I said, I reserve the right to refuse certain requests, and a little bit more of an admin thing, so that people don't go back and say, "Hey, you said I could do anything." Yeah, there's anything, but not everything, if that makes sense. But don't stress. I guarantee you we'll do almost anything you guys ask. So, and like I said before, the artwork will be yours. The image file will be yours. I'll ask if I can reprint it in the book with your permission. But if you say no to me, that's cool. It's your image. You choose what you want to do with it.
So does he draw traditionally or digitally?
Both. And in both these images, these are traditional. This is penciled. This is with a real pencil. And this one is painted inks. So that's all painted on. These are this is it. Yep.
Just putting my editorial Kickstarter hat on, I'd probably put particularly is it the penguin?
Yep.
I'd make a bigger copy of that and put it underneath that. Sorry, as someone who runs Kickstarters, I'm just giving advice. But yeah, I'd like to see better detail on that.
I am happy to take your advice. So after this call, what I'll do is I'll make these two images a lot bigger, slide the word down a bit. I'm happy to take your advice because you probably, and I'll make the screen a bit larger. I don't think I'm doing it justice. I really don't think I'm doing it justice for it being so small. It is really nice. It is a really
I would
nice
make
image.
them as big as the one with the bike.
This size.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll happily take
particularly given that it's your premium reward level.
Good advice. I will definitely enlarge this through. I'll put the enlarged copy through, and I'll come back in probably tomorrow and mix. The good thing about Kickstarter is you can make edits through. So again,
you can always change it.
Any creators out there, if you launch, if you make a mistake, don't stress. It's easy enough to fix up. Creative team. So it's Shaun and me both created this one. A little bit, and Vaughn is providing all the artwork for this, and grayscale by Kevin, and the Terralympus 2, and I actually asked Darren to come in to do some really cool graphics. I'm not going to spoil what it is because it will spoil the story, but even Darren has really nicely did a little bit of some really cool graphics on the computer screens for me. Can't spoil it because it will spoil the story, but when you get to it, you can know Darren did, and I thought he did a really fantastic job. Thanks, man. I really appreciate your help with that one.
No worries.
Okay, there are two big stretch goals for this. And the stretch goals which I like to do is, and I like campaigns to build and be better than the previous one. So the previous campaign just got a tick over $12,000, which I'm blown away. I'm always really thankful for people who support me. So the first big stretch goal comes when we do better than the last campaign. And the last campaign, we got 397 backers, which was amazing to me. It's like, wow, I can count the number of friends I have, real friends I have, and to get that many people support you is fantastic. So we've put the next stretch goal at the 400 backer mark. And this one, Darren, I'm not going to enlarge this one because I'm being very cheeky about this, but I do have some additional artwork which I've actually put aside just for this campaign.
Oh, that's fair enough.
You can't see it properly, and it will get enlarged and without that ugly watermark on it as soon as the stretch goal gets done. And it's photorealistic of one of the characters. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a tease. It's amazing. It looks really, really cool. That's my only tease I'll give you, and we'll take it from there. So look, we have basically about 2 minutes before the stream ends. So if anybody has any questions that they want to put on or ask, I'm happy to answer as many questions as you guys like. Let's just zoom this back down to 100%. We'll have a quick scroll up. Oh, wow. You guys are absolutely amazing. We're up to, within the first hour, we're almost up to 40 backers, and we are at, about a quarter of the way there already.
Yeah, you're crushing it, man.
Oh, look, it's, if anybody runs a campaign, and Darren knows this, it is very nerve-wracking. And I'm probably talking, and if people who do know me know I'm a nervous talker, which means if I'm excited or nervous about something, I talk and I ramble. I go on. So if I'm talking a lot more, it's because I'm so excited to see this through. And look, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody's support for this. Just as a quick check, look, we're going to probably wrap up very, very soon. Thank you, everybody who comes in, listens to us week on week. We will be taking a short break, as we mentioned. What we'll do is, as things go, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We're almost close to that 1,000 sub mark, which will be absolutely exciting. But once we hit that, it'll be nice to get to that 4-digit mark. So anything that, if you haven't subbed already, please do. We've just got another backer through, so we're up to 38 at. That's a really cool number, 1333. I like that. So I don't know if you one of my previous campaigns actually they actually backed up to 9999, just $1 short, and I think I sent it to a whole bunch of people. So my OCD is just really messing up here. So, what do? I can't refresh. I can't stand this. Look, thank you again so much. What I'll do is I'll probably close the stream here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will come back, and the next time we come back, we'll pick a new movie. Happy, and the thing is, if you guys have anything that you're interested to see, like artist time lapse, lettering time lapse, just let me know, let Shaun know, let the Facebook pages know, and what we'll do is we'll add it in. There's one last thing I want to show before we leave, which is another time lapse of another movie, another project that give me a sec. Another project that this is Fractured Shards. For one of the other things that it's a time lapse of that lettering, And what we'll do is we'll end the stream on that. We'll let that play out, and then the stream will end. So again, thank you so much for everybody, and we'll see you hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. So let me share that. So just a heads up, after this video ends, the stream will end. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, wait, I stuffed up. I forgot to put the sound again. Let me try again. We are professional, totally professionally, absolutely professionalism.